So in this session, maybe I think 1 hour or less than 1 hour, how much time I get, we're going to talk about Microsoft Copilot Studio. I will briefly talk about what it is overall. What is Microsoft Copilot? I know you may be hearing too many things about Microsoft Copilot. There are hundreds of Microsoft Copilots are available. So we're going to talk briefly about them, and then we're going to jump into Copilot Studio, what it is, and then we will start building maybe a couple of or 2, 3 Copilot live in the session. Okay. A little bit more about me. I think it's already been provided the information. So I'm MVP and MCT. I also run Houston Power Platform User Group. So if you guys are in US or somewhere where you can join, we generally do the event every month, but that's in US time. So if you are in India, that will be difficult for you to join. But if you are in US or somewhere that the time zone allow, feel free to join. Check out my LinkedIn or Twitter for the other update. Okay, little bit of my social interaction that I will talk at the end of the session. Okay, agenda is very straightforward. As I said, I'm going to keep it more interactive. So we're going to talk about what is Microsoft Copilot, what is available today. Then we will jump into the Copilot Studio, and then we will just do the lots of demos. Okay, so Microsoft Copilot. Now, if you have used the Microsoft Copilot already, then you may be knowing that what it is. For the folks who doesn't have that much of experience yet, so think like Microsoft Copilot is your AI assistants for any of the Microsoft product that you are using today. So it can start from Excel, your PowerPoint, if you're working on any other Azure, any other different tools, and if you need any assistance, and that assistance means that it is empowered by AI. So now you can chat and you can talk like you are talking to me or someone and ask question to that Microsoft Copilot. It's going to bring all that information back to you. So then you don't need to go multiple places, look for the information and invest time to actually get the information. Rather, you will ask the copilots to do that heavy work for you, and then you can use that information for whatever purpose you are looking for that information. So for example, let's say if you are a developer and you are writing a code and you stuck somewhere and you want to get some help on some code samples, you can use GitHub Copilot. You can just ask question that, okay, can you provide me a sample code for whatever you are doing? It will go to the different places, find the best results, give you the code, and then you can start using it. So in long run, copilots are going to save a lot of time that we are generally spent, and we can be more productive. So that's how I see Copilot. I don't see Copilot that, oh, it's going to actually reduce the work. Rather, it's going to give us more opportunity to do more productive work. Right? And some of these basic thing that Copilot can do, and you can read, they can natural language understanding. So as I said, it's more conversation. So I can talk like I'm talking to you guys to my Copilot. They can assist in the coding. They can create content. So PowerPoint, Excel. They can do the documentation. So in the Microsoft Word, data analysis, visualization. So all of these things, Copilot can easily do it for us. Now, this is a brief what copilots are available. Now, this list may not be complete because Microsoft is bringing the different copilot in the different product every other day, right? But for now, you can think like these are the major copilots. Those are either available or will be available in near future. So Copilot in Wing and Copilot for Windows, these are the free version of Copilot. So for these, you don't need to get any license. If you go to the browser and type copilot.microsoft.com, that's going to bring you to Copilot in Bing, and that's where you can actually start chatting with the Copilot, asking questions similar to ChatGPT. If you have Windows computer, Windows 11 or Windows 12, and you are updated to the latest version, you can also have a Copilot in your Windows. So if you search, you will have an icon on your laptop or computer tray where you can see the Copilot icon there and you can chat with it. Then we have the licensed version, so Copilot Pro, Copilot in Power Platform that maybe you have seen in some of the other demo that you may have seen yesterday or maybe seen today, where you can just ask your Copilot to build the app or build the automate for you. Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is a Copilot where you can actually have Copilot for Excel, Copilot for PowerPoint, Microsoft Word. So all these different Microsoft 365 applications are also coming with the Copilot. So you can easily build the content, document, and other things, right? These are all available right now. The Azure Copilot, Copilot for Sales, Copilot for Services, all of these Copilots are, some of them are in preview, some of them are in pre-release, but they are going to be there near future. So if you are working in Azure, the Azure Copilot will help you. If you are using Microsoft Dynamics, then Copilot for Sales will use. And again, this is for you and your customers if you're working with the customer. Copilot for Service, if you're creating contact management system using Microsoft Dynamics 365 service, this will help you. Security Pilot and GitHub. Now, all of these copilots are what Microsoft has already built that we can use straight today. What about if we don't want to use what Microsoft created, rather we want to create our own copilot, or if we want to extend any of these copilots that has been there? That's where the Copilot Studio came into the picture. So what Copilot Studio allows us to do, it can allow us to create our own copilot. So then now what I can do, I can create a copilot very much specific to my need, right? So for example, let's say I have a document, I have a very big document, and people always asking me questions about what inside the document. I always go and read through the document, search for that content, and then answer it. I can create a copilot that can just go and read that document and give me the answers. Or maybe I have a website that has lots and lots of content, and my users or the customer or maybe my colleague want to know more about or get more information from that website, and I don't want to go and look for the different link in that website. I can create a copilot that can actually do that work for me, and many more examples. So this is where the entire power came into our hand. So we can create our own copilot and keep extending them at however level that we need them to be, right? Again, it's a low code approach. So when we are creating or using the Copilot Studio, we are not really creating or writing any code. We are just using what Microsoft Copilot Studio is going to provide, drag and drop, basic low code approach, right? Now, if any one of you have used the Power Virtual Agent before, then this is going to be very similar experience, because what Microsoft had done, they extend the Power Virtual Agent, enable it with AI capabilities and many more advanced modern technology, and created the Copilot Studio. So if you have done any work in virtual agent, this is going to be very easy and smooth ride for you. Excuse me. Yeah, so this is an this is not a replacement, I would say, for virtual agent. Rather, it's an extension of Power Virtual Agent. So now Power Virtual Agent, if you search for it, it's not there. You will straight be redirected to the Copilot Studio to use it. So yeah, if you have used the virtual agent, it's going to look similar, but it has more now AI capability in it, right? That's it on the slide. I don't want to spend much on the slide. I'm going to straight jump into the Copilot Studio and walk you through creating some Copilot, and then we can just have more conversation in the chat, okay? So let me open a browser here. So the first question is how we can access the Copilot Studio, right? So to access the Copilot Studio, what you will do, again, it's in the browser. So you don't need to install anything for this. So you will go copilotstudio.microsoft.com. Okay, that's the place where you start. The Copilot Studio is not a free tool or product. So, and it is capacity based licensing. So if you need to get the license for your organization, and you will get the credit to run the different Copilot. But to test the scenario, you can always do the free trial. That's what I am using right now. So if you have not used the free trial, once you go to copilotstudio.microsoft.com, it will ask you to start free trial. And you can start, provide information, and then you will jump onto this page. Now, those who have already used the virtual agent, this page will look very similar what you have seen in the PVA, right? Those who are new, this is the place where you can start creating your own Copilot. right? On the left hand side, I will go through that, but on the central, if you have created any Copilot, you will see all the Copilot listed here. If you have used and created any Power Virtual Agent, they will look like this. So you will see the classic chatbot. So these are the old virtual agent Copilot. So what Microsoft has done, they are still bringing the old virtual agent bot that you have created into this new experience. So you can have them and then you can extend them. But this is the place where you start. If you have not done anything, it will be blank, and then you can start your trial version, and then you can start creating your Copilot, right? So I see there is no message in the chat. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type in. Okay. So the first thing is how to create a new Copilot, right? So it's very simple. You see on the top, there's a new Copilot button. I'm going to click on that. And now you are in experience of building your own Copilot, right? So I'm going to give this name. Okay. Before we build any Copilot, we need to know we are building Copilot for what, right? I'm going to start one basic simple example just to explain the capability of what you can achieve with this. So I don't know how many of you are a cricket fan here, but I am. So what I'm going to try to do. So you already know this Cricinfo website, right? Means if you follow the cricket, this is the website that has a lot of information about cricket. Now I am very curious about so many information on that, but sometimes it's really difficult for me to find that information. So for example, let's say if I ask you, do we know who took the first ever cricket wicket, or whoever scored the first ever 50 score in ODI? This information is there on this website for sure, but it's not easy to find. Yes, we can Google it, but then there's even more complex and contextual information that I need. Then I need to spend more time. So what I'm going to try to do, we're going to try to create a Copilot that will point to this website, and then we can ask any question, and then our Copilot will go and extract information from this website. Okay. So once you are on this screen, you can give the name. Copilot does support the multilingual capability, but you need to select which language this particular Copilot is going to support. It's not I can have multiple languages in one Copilot, right? So if you want to create in some other language, you can select, and then this Copilot will start using that language. For now, we're going to select English. Now, this is where the difference come in from the virtual agent. Yes, I think Shanov, you asked a question about the folders. I'm going to go there. Yes, the answer is yes, but we will go there. This is the difference from virtual agent, and this is the more power, right? So what you can do here, I can enter a website, and this Copilot is automatically going to go to that website and start getting information. So what I'm going to do, I'm just copy it and paste it, right? That's it. And then I will click create. Right, and meanwhile I can have a question. So can we capture the detail of visitors every time a new visitor interact with chatbot? You can. For that you need to capture the information, but you also get with Copilot, you get the analysis. So you will get all the analysis of how many times your Copilot has been called and other details. So you have default, and you can extend it if you need it. So once I click create, as you can see, it's saying your bot is provisioned. The only thing we provided, the name of the website. Now I want someone to put a questions about cricket, any information, and I'm going to ask the same questions here. So if someone can do it quickly, any question that came into mind about anything that you want to know, or I can type in if no one has any question. Anyone? Okay.
There are a couple of
I knew
questions.
these questions. I'm going to ask, and you will be surprised with the answer. So hold on, because I asked this question. It's not going to give the answer that maybe some of us want. So so it's saying, so look at, first of all, look at this information. We just, how much time we spend? We spend maybe 2 minutes to create this Copilot, and it's almost getting all the information. And now this information, because now we are talking about more like bigger players, so we know this information, but it bring all the information from the website. It is giving the comparison, and it's actually giving more contextual information right here, right? Now let me ask some more complex questions, right? So and I will talk about this in a minute, right? So you see, right? So this is the first ever ODI that's been played in 19. What is the age? Let me see. I know. So yeah, so you can see, right? And then from here, if I click on these link, it can actually take me directly to the website, and then I can actually get more detail. Now, to find these informations is, and again, the thing is, it's not generating any new information. It's just going through their website that we have given, and it's trying to get information from. And now if you click on any of the question that we have asked, it will open the entire logic behind the scene that has already been written. So the trigger point is saying on unknown intent. That means the generative questions, right? Because we are just asking random questions. So these are not predefined questions that we can generally set up in Copilot. That's called the topic, right? So these are not the predefined topic. So it's saying it's unknown intent. Then it's going to this create generative answer, going to the data source. This is the data source that we have provided. Sorry guys, I was sick, so little throat infection. Okay. This is our website. You can enter up to 4 public website here, right? So not only one, I can add 3 more. So if I have more different website that's giving me similar information, I can add them. I'll come to the SharePoint in the next chatbot. So then this bot will start getting information from all those 4 websites, okay, and give us the best result. So this is the data source, and then depending on the answer, it is providing that information. And this is all done by Copilot. We have just selected the website, okay. So this was the very simple example. Now let me walk you through this left navigation, and then we will create one more Copilot for another information. Anyone have any other question before I move? Not from me, for Copilot actually.
There are some for you, Deepak.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can address them later.
That was it. Okay. Yes. Okay. So on the left hand side, the first thing that you can see is the topic and plugins. Okay. And once you click on that, you can see these different options here. So the topics, these are the general standard topic for any chatbot. Like for example, greetings, right? So if I click on the greetings topic, it's saying that when someone comes in and say any of these keywords, then do this. These are the predefined topics, right? That you can define, and you can say that, okay, if someone said this, do that. This is the typical virtual agent, what we used to do. So you can create your entire logic here, right? So for example, right now it's saying if someone say hi here, it's going to go to this loop, as you can see here, and it's going to say, how can I help you today, right? And then from here, I can do many things, right? I can send a message, I can ask another question, I can even send them to another topic. Call and action, this is where I can do more complex logic, right? I can even create a Power Automate flow, send the questions or information that user is asking to the flow and do much more, right? There are some connectors. So, and you see here preview, that means these actions or functionality are in preview. You can use it. Do not use it in production because they may change when they will become production ready. So connectors are ready-made connector, those you can directly call. So for example, I can call a flow and use these actions there, or I can directly use them here. So for example, I have some Excel, and there are more. I think if you type SharePoint, you will start seeing for SharePoint as well. So there are many more. Means I can tell you whatever you see in Power Automate flow, most of them are gonna available as a connector here. So you can directly call them from here. And then plugins. So these plugins are, if there's a plugins available, that you can use here, right? So what you can do much more complex setup or settings in your Copilot to get more information from other applications, correct? And then in the advanced, you can use this generative answer. This is what we seen with this our default, right? That's the same action. If you select that, you need to provide the data source, and then it will start doing the same thing how it was doing in this our default actions, right? I'm not going to do that here. Or you can also send an HTTP request. So from very simple scenario, you can keep making it more complex and more advanced as per your need. So the capability is very vast. You can do very simple things or very complex things, but depending on the skills, your need, and the how complex you want your bot to be. Then then we have entities. Actually, let me go back to the topic. I have a few more things. So this was the standard topic. Then we have these plugins. So again, it's in preview, but if you have any plugins, if you click here, right? So these are some plugins available. You can also upload your own plugins. Like for example, get forecast for today. This is ready-made plugin that you can use. And once you have this plugin here, if you ask the question, how's the weather, it's going to just give you the weather for the city that you are in or you are passing the name. And adding these plugins is very simple. Select them. It's going to just collect all the information, like as you can see here. Next, next, and finish. And this plugin is ready to use in your bot. That complete. So as you can see, right? So this plugin is now here. Then we have the system topics, right? These are the system generated topic. The conversation start. That the second one, this one, what happened when we don't provide any topic and use generative AI. So if I click on this, this is where these questions were going. So on unknown intent, it's creating this generative answer using the AI behind the scenes ChatGPT, going to this data source, getting the information and providing us this detail. Okay, so this is the basic about topic. Again, this particular session, I want to keep it basic level, so that's why I'm not going too deep in the more complex scenario. One, we don't have time, and second, it will make it more complex, right? But the capabilities are there. You can use them in more complex scenario. Then we have entities. This is again when you are creating your custom topic, you can use any of these entities. Entity is nothing but behind the scene there is a table that you can use to store the information that either your user is providing or you want to provide the information to the user. So these are the entity that you can have. I'll read this message. It's very long. Give me 1 minute. And this analytics, I think someone asked the questions about it. So once you start using this, it's going to give you all the information or analytics about your bot. So you can see the summary, like how many sessions, engagement rate, other information, the satisfaction, sessions billing, and also the other suggestions and what went wrong, what went right. But this will also only going to be activated once you start using this bot more and more, right? Currently, we have not just used a couple of times, right? Publish, I'll come later. How publish means how to publish your bot. And then we have this extend Microsoft Copilot. It's in preview, but this is another feature. So you have seen the table that I have shown you before, how many copilots are available. So we have Copilot for Microsoft, right? This particular area allow us to extend those Copilot. So if you have any Copilot that Microsoft has already built, you can extend that functionality here. Okay, still in preview. So of course, good for using it for POCs and testing, but not ready for production. That's what I can say, right? And then we have settings, and this has a lot of detail again. So Copilot detail, nothing, just your information about your Copilot. AI integration tool, I think this is just a reference document. This one is very helpful if you're creating more customized Copilot, then you can use as your open AI. So you can create your own models and everything. So this is for more complex bot that you want to build where you are not satisfied with default information that is coming in, right? Then we have generative AI. This is what we have done at the very beginning. So we provided the one website here, right? Now here, if I want, I can add any number of more, like 4 maximum website here. And then I also can have a document. Okay. So for example, let's say I don't want to use the website, or maybe I want to use the website, but I also want to have a document that I can directly give it to this Copilot and then use the data inside that document so that Copilot can answer those questions, right? Now you can see here, I can drag and drop any file here that is up to 3 MB file. And the number of files is going to depend on the size limit that you have in your Dataverse, right? So if you have, let's say, 50 GB available, you can upload up to 50 GB. If you have 5 MB, then you can upload just one file. But you can upload here different files. I'm going to try to upload one file here. If I can find, maybe let me see if I can download from my SharePoint. Okay, so I'm gonna drag and drop one file here. And what this file is, this is the file that I just drag and drop. It is a license guide for Power Platform that you may have seen. This is generally available in Microsoft website. So now you can see the file is uploaded, it's saved. Now I'm gonna ask a different question. So I'm gonna say Power Apps license, right? I'll click on this one. Now logically, what should happen here? This should go to this file and give me the answer, right? Sometime it take time to reflect at least the document piece of it, but let me restart this again, and then we will see if it can bring the information again. And that's what happened if you have feature in preview. Sometimes it just don't work how you expect it to be work. So what happened when you can have these different file. Yeah, we will try this, but you can upload multiple file here, and then instead of it can go to this website, or it can actually go to this document and find that information. Let me come back again. I'll give it one more try. I think it is looking good. Okay, so this is one thing. Then another logic or option that you can see here is the content moderation, right? So it has 3 different settings. High means that it's going to bring it's all about for the AI, right? For the AI to get you the detail. So if you keep this high, that means it's going to try to find very perfect answer. So the number of results that you will get will be lesser, but they will be more relevant. If you keep it medium, that means it will still try to be more close to your question, but it will bring many results that you need. And then you can keep low. This is going to bring a lot of responses and maybe not very relevant. So I'm going to click this, click save. And let me try one more time if this understand. Okay, so it's not finding it in the document, but yeah, generally it should. So when you give a try in the document, it will find. I have other bot that I created that actually go through the document and find the information. Then we have these two. This is more advanced topic, but you can always use. So this is like saying you can actually create more search topic, give it to the different website, and then generative AI will try to go and find that information, and then also use Azure OpenAI to get using the Azure OpenAI to to search for your data instead of using the default AI capability that actually coming right now that we used before. One thing that you always notice, if this last one is very important. If I turn this off, my generative AI response is not going to work. So if you are using these public website or anything where you want your generative AI to respond, make sure that you turn this on. Okay. This dynamic chaining with the generative action, again, it's in preview, but what this is going to do, it can switch or try to find the right plugin. Like for example, we use the weather plugin, right? So if you still want to use the same logic here, and depending on my question, I want them to send to that plugin, then you need to keep this on, right? And then again, this is more about how you can author this Copilot. So these are the basic settings. I just wanted to show you so you know what are the different settings are available, because sometimes it's become very confusing. The channel and other things I'll come later, because we try to build one more Copilot that is going to be very interesting, right? So I'm going to go back to the Copilot. I'll create a new one. And this time we will do what we will try to connect our Copilot to a SharePoint library. Okay. And this is the library that I have here.
Can we take few questions, Deepak,
Oh,
before?
yes, definitely. Hold on. Let me see that long question. So let's imagine a situation where each user want to gather specific information such as the company name, leadership, like key. Yes, so you can have those different websites, but right now the limit is 4. So then if you have
Yeah.
those 5 website added,
Mhm.
then it will go and get the information depending on your question. It can go, or what you can do also, if I go back to where it is. What you can also do, like you have seen those topic. So instead of using this default system generated conversational browsing, what you can do, either you can create your own topic or use this greeting topic, go to the call action, sorry, go to the advanced generative answer, and then from here you can add those website, but here you can control, then you can define, or even before that you can ask questions to the user. Okay, give me the product name, this detail, and then pass that information to this generative AI, because it's going to ask for input, and you can pass those variables so that your AI will have more contextual information that where it should go in which website and find the detail. But the limit is 4. Now, if you want to use more than 4, then you need to go a little bit more complex and use this advanced and HTTP or use the Azure OpenAI. So yes, so answer to that question is yes, possibility is just the how complex what you will end up creating if you want to address all the scenario here. Does that
Thanks,
answer?
Deepak.
Okay. Okay, and then can we use Dataverse table as entity? These are in Dataverse, these entity tables. So these tables that you see are actually created in the Dataverse. Video, hold on, can you provide video? Video is not supported, it's the document. And then the question being recorded. Okay, this is
We have a last one. How to troubleshoot if Copilot is not answering like you tried in licenses document?
yes, there is not much here for the troubleshooting point of view. And generally what I have seen, and you may also seen when you start working, any feature that is in preview, sometimes it's not going to work like we expect it to be work. But from the debugging point of view, like for example, if I go to the one that I was working on here, right, and we never know, now maybe it start working. And this
Yep,
does work.
yep.
Go ahead. You're saying something?
Yeah, we anticipate some progress on this because this is still in preview. So as it will mature, it will have more capability around those
Right,
things.
right, right. Yeah. And to understand this, like for example, see, it's going here, right? And what I can do, and again, you need to, for example, if you see here, it's going into this one, right? Conversational boosting. I can delete this. How you can do the troubleshooting, you can just play around with your data and then get it to the right answer or right place where it should be answered. The reason I'm saying that it's in preview, so it's not perfect, and you will see it's not perfect. But that's the point. You can work with it and see where it's missing, and then always provide feedback to Microsoft that I'm trying this scenario, it's not working, so they can improve it, right? What is the next question? What are the major limitations for this Copilot? The limitations, like some of the limitations that I have already talked, the number of website, it may change. There are workaround to go cover that. It's just your Copilot will become more complex. Other than that, I don't really see the limitation. And the reason I'm saying I don't see limitations because yes, there may be the limitations if you are only using it for as out of the box, right? Like we did for just provide the website. But because you can customize it at very broad level, like you can completely go to the Azure OpenAI, and once you go there, that means you can bring your own data, train your own models, and then get all the record. Video we cannot. And how different Copilot from virtual agents? So Copilot has more AI capabilities. It can talk to more generative AI kind of technology like Azure OpenAI, and it has inbuilt ChatGPT capability that Power Virtual Agent never had it. It's an extension of virtual agent. Okay, and then yeah, video is not really available. Yep. So let's try our new Copilot. I'll come to this question because I need to show it, otherwise we will miss that. So we're gonna try to create a Copilot that can actually connect to this SharePoint document library, and actually we're gonna ask questions on these document, the data inside these documents. Okay, so not about these document or the files, but what is inside these files. And all of these three has a different, completely different information. So I'm not going to provide a website here. You can provide and then change it later. Now click create. Yeah, so this how we can display the video and the response. This I'm not sure if it is supported, but I may be wrong. I need to check this. And you're asking specifically are responding with a video. You can have a link to a video, like for example, if you use the YouTube as your website, it will provide you a link back to a particular video, but it's not going to play the video. I don't know if I don't think it's supported yet. Okay, so we created this, and I'm going to go to the actually topics here. We will go to system, and then what if we have one shop document in SharePoint and connect that SharePoint link with the other? Yeah, that's what I'm showing right now. So let me show you that. Interesting. What's going on? Okay, let me try. This is the trick. So right now, if you see, it's not allowing me to do anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask any random question. Okay. And what this does, and if you see, right, so if things are not really, if you don't see nothing happening, so this is where you can see, and interestingly, it has not actually created the. Okay, my bad. So we need to turn this on, right? So as I said in the beginning, right, you need to, if you really want the generative AI, you need to make sure this turn on. Then you can actually have your generative AI enabled in this particular pod. So now you can see right now I have bot, and if I go to the topic, I can see the conversational boosting topic available here that I was looking for. I'm going to click on there, right? And then click on the data source. And there we have SharePoint. You can do it from other place also, but I want to show something here. That's why I'm coming here. Come here, and I'm going to copy the link of my SharePoint list or the library. Okay, paste it in the SharePoint, add it. So it's done. Click save. Okay, now you see here there is an error saying authentication not enabled. That is coming because when you use SharePoint, and if you go to the security, and if you go to the authentication, I can either say no authentications, and if I use the only Teams and Power App, then it's only going to work in Teams and Power App. Or I can go manual authentication where I can provide the client ID. This is where I need to get the client ID and client secret from the Azure. So let me, because we're not going to do this, I'm going to go back and actually open the existing Copilot that I already have so that we can easily see that. So similarly, I'll go to the topic, go to the system. So you see, right, the same, I have the same list here. And I'm going to try to ask questions on one of these documents that we have. So let's see if I open this one. So this is again a simple document that is talking about how you can actually move data between SharePoint list. Okay, it has all the information here. I'm going to just try to see, for example, let me see what I can ask. Okay, so I'm going to just copy some text here so I can type in. Okay, so let's see if this actually works. So I just ask a question about move a SharePoint list item when an item is created. This bot is looking into that library. So if it work, what it should give me the result? It should give me the result from that particular document that we have. So let's see if it can actually get that information. Meanwhile, I'm just going to look at the question. It does, right? So if you notice here, it actually went inside the document, give me all the different area of the document or the sections of the document and giving me link to the document. Let's see another question here, right? So this was the one question. Now I have another, the same document that we used previously about the license. So I'm going to try the questions that we asked previously. So Power Apps license details. So now we have changed the question. So now I should go to the different document, go inside it and try to get me these details. So we'll see. And now you see, right? So now it went inside the other document. And if I click on that, it's opening the document, but it's also actually trying to get information from the document. And I can be more precise. For example, can I use Power Apps without okay, I need to frame some questions. Any question that you guys getting?
Can we ask aggregated questions like what is the maximum price of the Power App license that I can have today, or what is the least possible dollar value of a license?
Yeah, I can definitely. Let me just ask this question and then we'll ask the other one. I just ask like, can I use Power Apps Premium license with Power Automate? I don't know if this make any sense, but let's see what it bring in. And what was your questions you're asking?
I wanted to ask aggregated level question, like what is the least value of a Power App license, say for example, or what's the maximum dollar value
Okay,
of a license?
yeah. So what is the maximum license value for? We need to give some context. So let's say 500 users, right? Because it doesn't know how many users you're gonna ask.
Yep.
Now, the previous question is saying yes, so this actually got the information, and you can go more complex as you want. And let's see if it will bring any information here. Yeah, it doesn't get it because the thing is this: if you look at this one and look at the document, that document may doesn't have that information. So because this is the data-driven AI, right? So if your data doesn't have that information, like if it's not talking about users, then it will not like it should answer some capacity questions like how many credits you will get with let's see. And meanwhile, I'll go and open the third document that I have. Now this document has completely different information. It's like very simple document, but it's talking about some Southwest Airlines thing, right? So then I'm gonna just ask some questions about that. And what I'm trying to showcase here, and this time it bring right, so saying the Power Apps Premium license does not provide a specific number of AI credits. So now this is the very good questions because sometimes we got confused and we don't know what the answer is. So these kind of chatbot can actually give you those contextual information. And then the last one, I will say Southwest deal, let's say. I don't know if there's any deal in this document mentioned, but we'll see. It's kind of that. So now I have only 3 documents in my library. You can have many more documents. You can have many more documents. Like for example, think like this. You can create a knowledge base here. Frequently asked questions. So instead of creating your own documentations and everything, you can actually have your bot connected to that particular library, and it can bring all the information. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to go back and I'm going to try one more thing, and then we can actually close this session because I'm going to definitely want to see why that document doesn't work. So we can give one more try, and then I will be answering any question that you have. Any more questions? How to log into Copilot Studio? You need to go copilotstudio.com, and then I'm going to just use this time. I'm going to use. Actually, you know what? I have one that I can show you. So let me see. Okay, let's see if this is the one that I have. Some of the document. No, it does not. Any other question so far?
Kumar, can you post questions from the chat?
Yep.
Okay, so this one, let's try there. Yeah, so this is how it generally works, right? So you can see now this is a similar Copilot that I have created previously. You see the same document was uploaded here. And here I asked the questions about Power Apps license detail. And what it does, it actually pick the section from the document that actually giving me that information. So it is very powerful in sense. And sometime maybe let's say I have provided 2 different placeholder here, so or the area here. So one is this Microsoft website, the public website of Microsoft that has all the information about licensing and other detail. And I also uploaded the document. So when I ask question about Power Apps licensing detail, it actually went ahead on both the data source that I provided, pick up the information and give me both results. Now, keep in mind, whatever I have shown today, this is default without you actually making any changes. Like not even we have not even tried drag and drop or adding any new action. So without doing anything, also you can get some powerful, or you can create some powerful bot using Copilot Studio, and then you can extend to, I means there is no limit where you can extend that, I can tell you. Like for example, if you keep going here, like for example, this is the customer engagement. These are some of the more complex scenario where you can create your copilot that can talk to these different applications. It can talk to Salesforce, ServiceNow, Omnichannel. This is Microsoft customer service, and start creating more customer facing copilot, right? Uh, in the security, I think we have seen briefly, you can create your own authentication. So not only just Teams and Power Apps, but then you can create your custom authentication that you can actually allow user to authenticate themselves. And then of course with OpenAI, you can create your own. The last thing, or how to start the trial tenant. If you go to copilot.microsoft.com, and let me see if I can show you. You still need to log in with your M365 or Office 365 or whatever license, at least the license Microsoft that you have, and then you can start trial like other Microsoft product that you can start trial. And the last thing we're gonna show, the publish part. The publish has not changed much. Once you come here, depending on your security setting, you can click publish. It's gonna create or prepare your Copilot bundle. Once it's done, then it will give you the link, and then you can actually go to this channel and start using your Copilot there. If you keep it open, then you will have more apps available for you. If you say Power Apps and Teams only authentication, then you can only limit it to Power Apps and Teams. And if you create custom authentication, then it's gonna allow you, but then you need to set up the authentication for other application as well. So it's gonna take some time. I think we are almost at the time, so I'll stop here. I try to cover the basic aspect of the Copilot Studio, so feel free, and I'm going to bring back the presentation here. This is the summary. It's just enabling you and giving you more capabilities so you can be more productive. That's the whole purpose of Copilot Studio. Question I think we have asked. And this is my detail. You can check my YouTube channel. Some of the video that I have created on the Copilot Studio, you can check. If you want to connect me on Twitter, you can just use this handle. And yeah, that's it. Any other question on this topic or any whatever you want to ask?
Thank you so much, Deepak. There's one additional question. How to start with a trial tenant?
Yeah, so once you go to copilotstudio.com, right, make sure that you log in with your Office 365 license, because you still require your Office 365 license to use these tools. On top of that, you need to get those capacity to actually use in production. But if you log in with your Office 365 license, that is E3, E5, or whatever you have, then you will get an option to click on start trial. I cannot show you right now because I already click on that, but you will see it once you go there. But log in with your license. You need to log in.
Any tentative date, Deepak, when it will be a GA?
No, Copilot Studio is GA. Some of the capability inside that are not GA. So for example, if you go here in generative AI section, this public website is GA. The document is in preview. So you can still create a Copilot Studio that is pointing to a public website or SharePoint. That is available, that you can use today. And some of the topic that we were talking about, for example, if I go to greetings and click here, like you can see some of these things, these connectors are in preview, but you can create the flow. Generative answer is available, send an HTTP request is available. So some of the complex scenario is also available here. So it's mixed, right? Some features are available, some features are not. Can we give link to our Power BI dashboard? So not directly to that, but what you can do, and I have tried that. So if your Power BI dashboard is running based on Excel, you can actually upload your Excel as a document in here, and then it will start answering your questions. It's not perfect, but it will answer. It will answer some of these questions on how you can collect all the data, collective answers and all that. It does that. But I have tried, it was not like best results. That's why I didn't keep that as a demo to show you guys. But you can try that. It does work, but not directly to the Power BI. Power BI itself has that capability. You can just use the AI based answer in Power BI, and that will actually do that work for you. So okay, I think someone have a question. Raise hand. I don't know if you can answer that way. Akash, you need to type in. Any other question?
Akash, I have given you mic access if you can speak.
I think I have seen some questions. Can you provide
Yeah.
documents on the
Yeah.
fly? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Deepak. I was asking, can we connect with Dataverse or SQL Server or some other external integrations
You can
to
do
get
that,
generative answers?
but if you are trying to connect to more complex data sources, right, then you need to go either use the API for the data source if it has, or if it doesn't have it, and if your SQL is in Azure, then you need to use the Azure OpenAI. That another OpenAI Studio, that's another thing that you can actually, it's like a more advanced version of this, but you can create your OpenAI there and then actually just plug in here. I'll show you quickly. So when you go to the data source, you see here, it's saying Azure OpenAI. This is where you need to do if you have more complex data source. And it will go to a little bit more complex side where you need to set up something, but you can do that. You can have your own data and then have your own model that can run, and then have your bot that depending on those models and data and answering the questions. Does that help?
Yes.
And I think is this VBA Pavitran asking, it's not, it is, but it's more it's an extended version of PVA with AI capabilities and some more. And
Yeah.
then one question is, can you provide documents on the fly or provide a library of rotating documents on a daily basis? Yes. Like for example, we connected this library, correct? The SharePoint library. You can keep uploading document. That's the power of ChatGPT behind the scene, right? It's gonna keep looking document, keep indexing it, looking into it, and then creating those generative answers for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Looks like we are on time then.
Yeah, a little bit over.
Yeah.
but it's an amazing session, Deepak, and I didn't know the huge amount of possibilities this Copilot is offering.
Yeah,
And
it
and
is a lot. And again, as I said, this is the, I would say, 101 of Copilot Studio, and
That's
you
true.
can go like 909 on this one.
yeah,
Like some of the questions. So yeah. So the thing is this: start simple, explore, and then it is powerful, very powerful.
yep, yep. All right, so you can
Yeah.
connect with Deepak as well onto social media.